Hey girls! So some of you may know this, some of you may not know this, but June 1st was actually the day that Kentucky became a state. So we became a state in June 1st, 1792. So some fun facts about Kentucky are that we are actually where the Happy Birthday to You melody came from. So sisters Mildred and Patty Hill in 1893 created that song, and they were actually from Kentucky. We are also home to the largest gold reserve. I'm sure you all know this one. It's in Frankfort, Kentucky, which is also our state's capital. And though you've probably seen that he lived in Illinois, Abraham Lincoln was actually born in Hodgenville, Kentucky. So now that we know a little bit more about Kentucky, I'm going to do a fun guessing game with you all. So I'm actually going to read off facts like this about other states, and I'm going to let you try to guess what kind of state I'm talking about. State is located in the Midwest region of the United States, and it actually shares a city with Missouri. So there's a city that it shares that is split between two states. So this state actually leads the United States in cattle and wheat production, and the state's song is Home on the Range. So that should tell you that it's kind of has a lot of fields in it. And if you've watched The Wizard of Oz, you're probably really familiar with this state. I'm going to give you a little bit. I'm going to pause it so you can pause the video, and I'm going to give you some time to think. And I want you to kind of write down a couple of your guesses on what state you think it might be. Okay, so the state that I'm talking about is Kansas. And another little fun fact about this state is that Amelia Earhart, a famous female pilot, was actually born in this state. So that's where she's from. Okay. So this state is in the northeast of the United States, and it is a coastal state. It does border the ocean. So this state was named after an English duke back when it was founded. The first railroad in the United States was actually constructed in this state. This state was actually home to our nation's capital before it was moved down to Washington, D.C., so it's a pretty populated state. 5 states, Connecticut, Vermont, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Pennsylvania actually border this state. And the last hint, which might give it away, is that you can find the Statue of Liberty. And here's where you're going to want to pause the video, so I'll give you a second to pause. And I'm going to reveal what state we were talking about. So we were talking about New York. New York City is obviously the biggest city in New York. It's the one that most people think of. And the Statue of Liberty is actually located in New York State. Okay. So our next state is actually one that borders Kentucky, so it's pretty close by, and I would bet that most of you have been there before. So this state has 5 state songs, one of which includes Rocky Top. The Grand Ole Opry is in this state, and it is the longest continually running radio program in the world. And this state is the site of Graceland, which is where Elvis Presley lived. Again, I'm going to give you a little bit. I'm going to give you a second to pause. Okay, so the state that I was talking about was actually Tennessee. Tennessee is right below us, and if you've ever traveled to Florida or any of the states down south, you've more than likely driven straight through Tennessee. Okay, our last state for this session is actually going to be one that also borders Kentucky, so we're keeping it close. So this was the first state to enact a sales tax, which is when you go and buy something and it's 99 cents. It's actually a little bit more because of that sales tax. 80% of this state is covered with forests, so there's a lot of trees here. There's a lot of nature. The first Mother's Day was celebrated in the state in 1908, and Pennsylvania and Maryland also border this state, while Kentucky and Ohio border it on the west side. All right, I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to pause. Okay, so the state that I was talking about for our last state is actually West Virginia. Of our little state guessing game, I might do more of these if you all like getting to guess the states. I have trivia for every single state on here, and it's really fun to learn about this for me too. So what I want you to do is I want you to let us know what states you got right and what states you guessed. So if you guessed like Arkansas for Kansas, I want you to let us know, or if you guess them right, I want you to let us know too. Another thing I want you to do is I actually want you to pick a state that I didn't use in this video, and I want you to gather 3 facts about it and let me know those, and then see if maybe you can get someone in your family, or if you can even get me to guess what state it is. I'd be really interested to see what you all come up with.